Numbers chapter 22. Numbers chapter 22, verse 2 through 6. Numbers chapter 22, verse 2 through 6. And we can all stand for the reading of the word. Numbers chapter 22, verse 2 through 6, and it reads, And Balak the son of Zippor saw all that Israel had done to the Amorites. And Moab was so afraid of the people because there were many. And Moab was distressed because of the children of Israel. And Moab said unto the elders of Midian, Now shall this company lick up all that are round about us, as the ox licketh up the grass of the field. And Balak the son of Zippor was king of the Moabites at that time. He sent messengers therefore unto Balaam the son of Beor and Pethor, which is by the river of the land of the children of his people, to call him, saying, Behold, there is a people come out from Egypt. Behold, they cover the face of the earth, and they abide over against me. Come now, therefore, I pray thee, curse me this people, for they are too mighty for me. Peradventure I shall prevail, that we may smite them, and that I may drive them out of the land. For I wot that he whom thou blessest bless, and he whom thou curse is cursed. Look at somebody and tell them, you're on the rise. You may be seated in the presence of God. Satan, the adversary, the accuser, the competitor, the robber, the deceiver, he tries to compete against God. He is an opposer. He goes against everything God does and says. He goes against the truth. And if the truth be known, he hates the truth. He is a spirit. And just like God, he needs a vehicle, which is a body to operate through to carry out his plans. Yes, he uses people, but he only uses those who have not identified who they really are and who have not recognized their value or how much they're really worth. And even those who don't know the power they possess. You see, the devil knows you just like you know yourself. That's why he keeps presenting things to you that opposes the truth of who you really are. He knows that you are the children of the covenant. He knows that you are the children of the promise. But he wants you to see the opposite of your promise, which is lack, doubt, worried, and depression. He knows you are victorious. So the enemy tries to show the opposite, which is failure, defeated, loser, and nobody. He knows that you are healed, but he shows the opposite of that, which is sickness, pain, addiction, hurt from past relationship, and childhood pain. And if he can just keep you blind, he can keep you weak to his lies. But I declare right now that the devil is a liar, and the true identity of the people of God is being revealed in this hour. And no longer will the people of God be imprisoned by the evil ways of the enemy. Touch your neighbor and tell him, take a look at me now, because my identity is about to change. If the enemy have been making you feel like you are nobody, he's only making you feel the opposite of whom you really are. If he's been showing you poverty, that's because he really see wealth upon you. If the enemy have been making you feel worthless, that's because he knows how valuable you are. If the enemy have been showing you failure, that's because he sees the greatness that's upon your life. And the ultimate plans that Satan have is to send signs and messengers that will clog your vision and your ability to see the greatness that God has placed on the inside of you, that you are an overcomer. Shout overcomer. Some of you are just like Israel. You have a mighty move going on in your life, and you are taking the enemy by storm. Balak knew he couldn't stop Israel, so he sent for a man called Balaam to come to them and curse Israel. It was known in the land that if Balaam cursed you, you were cursed. If he blessed you, you were blessed. Don't be be surprised how far the enemy will go to try to use someone to stop you. Don't be surprised who he may use to try to stop you from moving into your greater place. In Numbers chapter 22 verse 6, it says, come now therefore I pray thee, curse me this people, for they are too mighty for me. Peradventure I shall prevail, that we may smite them, and that I may drive them out of the land. For I wot that he whom thou blessest bless, and he whom thou curse is cursed. Here Balak was intimidated by what Israel was doing in the country. Intimidated means to fill with fear. Balak became fearful because of what he saw. When the enemy sees that you are progressing, when he sees that you are moving, when the enemy sees that you are walking in high places, when he sees that you are the head and not the tail, when he sees that you are the lender and not the borrower, when he sees that you know that you are heir to the inheritance, he gets intimidated and he calls forth the spirit of Balaam to work against you, trying to speak against everything that God has created. He wanted Balaam to speak a curse to the people by speaking it in the atmosphere, because he felt like that if it was released in the atmosphere, it would kill the move that was going on by the people in Israel. So the enemy always try to use somebody to try to come against the word of God that's over your life, that calls you to become wavered of who you are and what you are called to do. But I pray now that God is shutting up the mouth of the enemy that has rose up against you. Somebody ought to shout glory up in here. Be careful what you release in the atmosphere. You can be cursing yourself or blessing yourself. If a person always saying I'm broke, you just spoke against your wallet. You just spoke against your purse. You spoke against your finances. That's why the Bible says in Proverbs, death and life are in the power of your tongue, and they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof. You will eat the fruit of whichever one that you declare. So if you speak death over your money, you shall eat the fruit of no money. That's why you must speak, even though I don't have it now, I am still rich. It's still coming at me, so you can eat the fruit of the rich. Joel 3:10 says, let the weak say I am strong. Even though you are weak, you are still strong. You gotta speak I'm strong. Even in this weakened place, begin to speak against everything that the devil has tried to speak over your life. Some of you thought people were just picking on you. You thought they didn't like you just because. Some of you thought things were going wrong in your life just to be going wrong. But what has really happened is you have become a threat to the enemy. So now he is trying to use somebody to curse against you. But the thing is, the devil can't curse what God has already blessed. Somebody ought to shout, I'm blessed. Come on, you ought to shout, I'm blessed. And that cancels the curse of everything that the devil has been trying to pronounce over your life, that has been trying to pronounce over your family, over your children, over your home. Shout, I'm blessed up in here. Some of you have been on the front line of fire. The enemy has been really trying to attack you. As long as you wasn't doing anything, as long as you were pursuing after things that wasn't purpose, you was all right. The enemy would just watch you at a distance. But when you begin to rise out of that old way, when you begin to walk into your new place, the enemy tried to come after your anointing. He began to chase after your character. That's why it's important to hide in the presence of God, because the enemy may chase you in your home. The enemy may chase you in your job. The enemy may chase you in your school. The enemy may chase you in your car, but he can't chase you when you're in the presence of God. In the 20th verse, God came to Balaam and told him to go with him and only speak when I speak. Balaam got up to go with the men. He got his donkey and was on the way to meet Balak. But he angered God. In the 22nd verse, God told him he can go. But he also told him to speak his word. You see, in the night, Balaam began to think about all the money and wealth he would get if he go and curse Jacob and Israel. So the wealth was more important than what God has said. So he was going to speak a curse over Israel, and he was going to be able to prosper. But somebody ought to shout, but God. As he was riding his donkey, saw the angel of the Lord when Balaam did it. So the donkey began to reject Balaam's instructions to the point to where Balaam wanted to destroy the donkey. Finally, the Lord opened Balaam's eyes so that he could see the angel, and he told him, if the donkey would not have turned aside from I would have killed you by now. Can't you see every time the enemy was on his way to try to destroy you, but God put an angel in the way? Every time the enemy hopped in his car to come to try to attack your name, God let an angel cause his car to break down. When the enemy said, I got my car fixed now, I'm going to go talk about him now. Then God sent an angel and he caused them to have a blowout. Every time the enemy tried to get on the phone and talk about you, God caused the battery to go down. When they charged the phone back up, they said, I'll talk about him now. But God sent an angel and he caused him to drop the phone in water. Somebody ought to say, thank God for my angels. And the thing is, God blocks things that you didn't even know that was supposed to take you out. Even when people stood to prosper off of you, when they wanted to, God wouldn't let it happen. God told Balaam to tell them what I say. God told him to say, how can I curse whom God has not cursed? And how can I denounce whom he has not denounced? You see, Balak came to Balaam 4 or 5 times, taking him to several different places, trying to get him to look for a place to curse Israel. But no matter which side he went to, from the high to the low, from the east to the west, they were still pronounced not cursed. The enemy would try to come from all angles to attack you, like Balak tried to get Balaam to go to different places. But no matter what angle he may come at you at, he's only going to see what God has called you to be. When he comes from the west angle, he sees not cursed. When he comes from the east angle, he sees prosperity is upon you. When he comes from the south angle, he sees God's chosen vessel. When he comes from the north angle, he sees greatness is upon you. When he comes from the 90% angle, he sees purpose is upon you. When he comes from 180% angle, he sees the next champion. He sees the next David on the rise. He sees the next Ruth on the rise. He sees the next Elijah on the rise. He sees the next Esther on the rise. He sees the next Moses on the rise. All the attacks the enemy were trying to set out on Israel, they began when he saw Jacob and Israel on the rise. So now the enemy sees you on the rise. That's why he's trying to mess with your money. He sees you on the rise. So he's trying to mess with your family. He sees you on the rise. So he's trying to mess with your mind. You now know that you are under attack because the enemy has seen your greatness. And every time the devil tried to mess with you, God sent angels and he take the enemy out. When the devil tried to kill you, God sent the angels and he blocked them. Every time the devil tried to kill your vision, God sent angels and he blocked them. The enemy sees you on the rise. Even when people wanted to gain from hurting you, God wouldn't let it happen. You ought to stand up on your feet and shout, I'm on the rise. I'm on the rise. I'm on the rise. If you believe it, shout yeah, 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 yeah. The enemy will try to raise up somebody that was speak against the word that's over your life. Look at Jeremiah chapter 28. Hananiah began to prophesy to the people against the word that God has spoken in the land of Babylon, to the point to where prophet Jeremiah had even believed the word himself until God sent the word to prophet Jeremiah and told him to tell Hananiah that he was clear, that he caused the people to trust a liar. The word the enemy has released over your life, it's a liar. He said you can't be free. He said you wasn't called. He said you were nobody. He said you weren't gonna write that book. He said you weren't gonna write that number one song. He said you weren't gonna be successful. He said you was gonna stay broke. He even said your ministry wasn't gonna grow. But somebody ought to say the devil is a liar. The devil is a liar. The devil is a liar. God told Jeremiah to tell Hananiah that he was gonna die this year. Every lie that came up against you is gonna die. The curse you die, the lack that you are experiencing is gonna die. And what's significant about the death of Hananiah is that the month he died in was in the 7th month. 7 signifies the day that God rested. God is getting ready to rest upon you like never before. And everything that God told you, you gotta believe it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen because you're on the rise. I said you're on the rise. Somebody say it. I'm on the rise. I'm on the rise. I'm on the rise. You're rising out of debt. You're rising out of pain. You're rising out of bad relationships. You're rising out of hurt. You're on the rise. I said you're on the rise. It ain't nothing that the devil can do about it. Because everything that he tried to use against you, God's going to send his angels. I said God's going to send his angels. And he's going to protect you. Look at somebody and say you ain't got to worry. You ain't got to worry. Because the angels of the Lord is surrounding you. If you believe it, one more time. Shout yeah. 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 Now give God some praise. I said give God some praise. I said give God some praise. Your children is on the rise. Your ministry is on the rise. You're on the rise. You're on the rise. The devil can't hold you bound. The devil can't hold you bound. Because you're on the rise. You're on the rise. The devil is a liar. The devil is a liar. God said you're free. God said you're free from insecurity, from depression, from poverty, from lack. You're all around. Lift up your voice and shout. The devil thought he was going to kill you. The devil thought stress was going to take you out. But you want to look at that devil in his face and say, no, 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 no. My God is on his way. My God is on his way. You thought you was going to destroy me. You thought you was going to kill me. But no, 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 no. My God, he's already here. He's here to heal you. He's here to deliver you. He's here to set you free. You ought to shout. You ought to shout. You ought to shout. The deliverer